That's like takes so much stress out of the way, because last time I came here, I had like 30 miles left, and I had to find a supercharger. And then I went to it, and Tesla hasn't opened up all their superchargers yet to non-Tesla. So I get there, and I'm like trying to plug it in, and I'm like, I'm still new to this. I'm not like good at this. I'm like, why isn't it charging? Next one, not charging, not charging. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I drive 20 more minutes away to another charger, and then that one works. So I found out that only some Tesla sites are open to non-Tesla cars. So. Did you eat? Yeah, I had a banana, and I brought some food. I brought like some protein bars and stuff. That interview actually turned out pretty good with that Looky Lou, that girl.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't tell that it was on the phone. Like the audio, I thought the audio was going to be like absolute crap. It was not too bad. It was exactly what I wanted, just like, you know, a bite or two of her. I feel like this is going to get dragged out all week.
You think so?
Which is fine. I mean, even if it goes an extra day, then we don't have to work Friday. I don't care.
Oh, he's still there.
Salida el viernes, este viernes a las 7:50. Yo vi que los de ida, uno donde va solo de lado izquierdo. Sí, como a la mitad, unos 2 o 3 atrás. Y el de regreso no digas que para Cihuatanejo, dile que para Iztapa. El de regreso, dile que es para Iztapa, porque te dicen Guanajuato. Muchísimas gracias. Take care. A la 1 de la tarde. Hay uno a la 1 de la tarde. Le voy a decir que él tiene su teléfono, ¿verdad? ¿Dónde está el número? Claro que sí. Muchísimas gracias por el listo.
What is it?
cemetery down there.
What is it, really? Yeah, all the counties taking over.
Fraud? Oh, really? Okay, good. Well, you need like a whole week almost on it, don't you? Yeah, I mean...
But at least I got the
Yeah, but tell her, don't let her rush it, because I told her they already were rushing, and I said, you need more time. We have a lot of shooting to do. I don't want that rush. That's a good one. I don't want that rush. Story yesterday, I don't care about. That one, I don't want. That one's a really good one. That one, I still can't believe. Is your girlfriend going to come to the Emmys?
Yep.
Awesome, I can't wait to meet her. Make sure you sit next to me.
Okay. How does this work? Apparently, like, who chooses the table?
It's basically first come, first serve. So as soon as you get there, you can go and put your stuff down.
Oh.
I'm telling you, I want to sit with you, and I don't want to sit beside a lot of other people.
By, like, Leon and Sarah?
Dude, Leon and Sarah weren't there last year.
Okay.
But there were other people there, and I was like...
And then I heard, like, it's so long. I don't want to sit there with people, like...
You don't want to be with the Debbie Downers.
Yes.
No, it's a fun night, and you don't want to... No, so, like, we could chat offline, but you don't want to sit beside, like, the most the directors with bad idea, attitude, the complainer. Like, I'm just sending us both photos of, like, the most important people so that I'm, like, practicing you also. Just so we can see. Yeah, I love ET, man. All these old shows, like, it's sad they're all going out of favor, though, you know? Like, they used to all be, such a big deal. I'm not gonna have my phone, so I'm gonna write things down. Yeah, like, you don't want to sit next to Debbie Dipper. Madison got nominated for French, so hopefully she's there. You'll get to meet Tara, all my guys, who are there.
Are they great? Okay.
When you look at all the categories, it makes sense why it takes so long. You include everybody. Oh,
Bro, by the end of the night, people are done. You gotta drink. Did you go in Louisiana?
One time I got nominated, I watched it.
How was it like during COVID?
No, I just didn't go. I don't remember why.
Do they? So how does it work where you're from? Is Louisiana its own area, or is there a bigger area, or
It's
like who do you compete against?
all New Orleans metro area.
I'm just curious.
No, that's a good question.
You know what I found out yesterday? There's something called an international Emmy. I didn't even know that. This girl in the city I'm from in Canada just won an international. She's like a filmmaker. I thought they did a really good job last year. Aside from it being really long, I thought production-wise, it was really good. And it looked better than some of the other areas I've seen. Like, at IRE, I was hanging out with some reporters from other areas, and theirs looked kind of small. They had a nice red carpet. Baruch had those crazy stories about those cops beating people up, right? In like a secret like warehouse. That was nuts. That'd be a good place for a visit.
It's Beverly Hills launch. A lot of careers on launch.
It's a small market.
Yeah,
It's like a Fresno or something.
Yeah, if you can like make a good.
But there's a lot of crime. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry. You're live. Only better thing would be if we had power. No. Just for later on. Like there are plugs inside, so I can. Oh, you brought power. Okay, great. That's perfect. Okay, we're good. I won't worry about charging it. Relatives all got here. I'm looking at my phone last time at 8:15. They were all walking. So maybe at 8 we go and hang out by that corner where the Escalade's gonna park. does your girlfriend live in Orange County? Love Dana Point. It's so nice, dude. You guys go for runs and hikes and stuff? Oh, dude, I love running at Dana Point. Sometimes if I'm going to LA for ortho or coming back on the way, I'll stop there and just make a night out of it, going for a run. It's so nice. And I did, when I was training for the Ironman, I did a bit of biking there too.
Although I didn't find the best place.
Maybe I just didn't know the right spot, but it's stunning. My favorite spot to bike and run is like Del Mar, like Carlsbad. It's all protected. Is it going to be hard to get in there for sound later? For the main?
So I set up my trap out.
Oh, you already have the spot. Oh, perfect.
That's why I just had my camera.
Oh, you're smart. Okay, cool. Okay. Is it the third one there?
So,
Well, you found a Starbucks. Where did you find it? I didn't find any good food around here. I mean, I didn't go out of my way looking. I just drove right here from the GPS. I just had a coffee in the hotel room this morning. It wasn't very good, but I was like, I just need something.
found this one.
Oh, it's 24 hours. Oh, that's good. It's close to the hotel.
And they seem perfect. So when they have
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I wasn't worried about that.
Yeah. I just wanted you to eat. I didn't want you to feel like you got here and then didn't eat all day, you know? It's not like the food is great. I just went to Target and got some snacks. You know how it is these days.
You know, and you get through like, hey,
They say, 8 times?
I assume 4, 5, 6, 7. And then don't let me forget, we need to leave a rant for the morning.
Okay.
So just something that's not, dated that they can use tomorrow morning. Probably just a different stand up at the Star or something like that. I'll try to keep it in mind when I'm writing so you're not writing like a whole bunch of it. Did you meet the core TV producer last time here?
No.
Her name's Tiffany. I don't know if she's also coming in or if they're sending someone else. Melissa was trying to kind of stay clear of them, but if she's here, we can, work with them because they'll have the sketches and.
I mean, the problem was it really wasn't even the core TV. It was like the middleman, the guy who.
It was a control room.
It was the control.
It was a control room.
And then that was the problem.
No, and like I told them too, like the producer I worked with on the phone was totally fine.
Right.
It was just there's some kind of a breakdown with the control room, and we were standing, and we wasted an hour of production time. when we were slamming, like that's like losing like 5 hours. You know, like we didn't leave here till like what? Like, so they're flying in their own photographer and their own producer. If it's Tiffany, she'll be in the courtroom because they actually had a spot for her. And she was great to work with. She took photos and had the sketches. If I don't see her, then we're not going to use the sketches. That's not a fight.
So have you seen out today?
Oh.
It was not like last
I was
night.
watching KTLA last night and this morning just to see the weather, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Get ready, it's going to be a roller coaster." But I'm like, "This is great." My adapter cost me like $140, which was like more than I wanted to pay because I already have an adapter. But I was like, you know what? It saves me from having to drive around in LA trying to find a Tesla supercharger that's going to cost me $50. Kind of an investment.
Yep.
So you could always sell it.
Yep.
I couldn't figure it out. So I'm learning that these electric car chargers, like, they're complicated. Like, our charger at home still doesn't work. That we paid 10 grand for. So they have like a week left and then we're going to sue them.
10 grand.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
I mean, our landlord paid for it, but still, he paid for it for us and to increase the unit price, right? So.
Walk up. Do you want a mic?
Like for the scrums?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the best way to do it was running them with stick mics. And that way I can say, you know, how do you feel? What would it mean to hold your husband for the first time? And you can go wide, you can go a little wider too if you want, so you can get me asking a question. For at least part of it. They told me to go in at 8:45, or to be up there by 8:45. So probably like 8:40, I'll go in. Do you mind if I just leave it on? Do you have extra batteries?
Yeah, I'm actually ready.
Only because I'm gonna forget.
I'm listening now.
You gonna go now? Okay, I'll come.
Like during the fires? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can't deny, because also too with Amazon, there's a time zone, and she takes the picture of the package visually, right?
Yeah.
So at 11:15, Mary Smith left that package. So they know who.
Oh, yeah. You can tell. Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Oh, so nice.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, but I had a partner.
Everybody that's here for the lotto poll, I need you to stand up and form a group right here. You're not following my instructions. You guys want to be part of the group? I'm not going to start pulling until I have everybody here. Thank you.
I'm good with it, I think you need to stick around.
Okay, I'm just going to call the last three. 261.
What's your name?
Step forward, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you.
About a 218. 218. No, sure. Thank you, sir. Congratulations. 213. About a 256.
Yeah.
256. Made it again. Pretty good. Yeah, I was going to say, here's your best shot. Two, 5, 5. We didn't want to join the group. 217. 216. 253. 253. 215. 215. One more time. 215. 258. 258. 212. 212. 254. 254. 257. 262. You got a big streak going. Yeah. Yeah. 252. 214. 214. 211. 260. 259. Anybody? 259. 259. 259. One more time. 259. Yeah, for the most part they did. Everybody. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Oh, they did. So just one person. Everybody else.
I would like to take that moment.
But today was 20 minutes on Friday.
Going home.
Oh yeah, you like travel. You road trip here.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out.
Good. The Jennifer Aniston guy?
Every now and then. They're all the same to me. It's like some other crazy stuff.
I was like, I got it. Well, I write all the news one pieces, and I read all of Alex Stone's notes, so I'm like, I did my homework.
Every now and then I see Erik.
Yeah.
I like downtown.
But here I like it because you got like right here.
Wait, where is the one you mean right here? Excuse me?
There's the parking garage right here.
I was not parking
That
there.
door right there. Then into the parking garage.
Yeah, we parked over there. That was the address that Lisa gave me. Oh my lord. Next time you text me Alex Stone, we're doing it. That's true, because I parked on the street.
The afternoon gets a little crazy because there's a jail in this complex and all the like people that get out and then start moving around and they want to talk to you. Big afternoon crowd.
Cool. Someone said that would be amazing. No, I'll copy Amanda. No, it's sending to New Zealand. I'm writing before 4 p.m. and want to use lights from cockpit. I know, that's what I'm saying. Hello, why the hell? I watched this video this morning.
Try not to get started right now.
Yeah. Well, she gave us access to that one.
Who's she?
Alyssa.
You could park in that parking garage up there? I thought that was just
Started
for
like
the
6.
gas.
Well, it was closed when we first got here, so we just parked on the street.
No.
It was
Usually for Todavía no han venido.
that's what we
I don't know where they are.
I was like, what? Do I look like a authority?
You do. You look like you might work for the court.
And so then I was like, well, I'm going 6 a.m., right? Chicago. Yeah. I thought I read that on the sign. That's amazing, Alex.
The only thing is self-service, depending on where you are and how deep you are, sucks.
So what's
trying to
the
work,
reason?
you're like, I have no connection.
What cross street is that?
Brittany Hope's down on 44.
Sean, who is it?
That's fine. That's the opposite way.
I didn't see a Jordan. Lady with the worker.
Okay.
Wolf is right there. We're gonna go. I mean, I guess it's not. Daragos come in here? Got it in the right place.
Yeah. I've just been waiting for you, like, because they both walk out. Like, I just been waiting over
But Chad doesn't, you know, it's
Here, mic check. Here, mic check here. Up there.
Oh, so no, I'm that 5.5.
Which way? You want to go to the podium? Yes.
So that would mean that she doesn't answer that question that you see, because I see it on my end, but I need to know the details about it.
My nephew is now on the ramp.
Oh, he plays for the Rams?
Now you're my friend, my guy. Well, y'all gonna lose.
Always.
I'm gonna see when I come out, man.
politically challenged couple.
What did he do this time? Is he still doing stuff? What?
what it is in the hearing today. Guarantee you, like I said, it's a really good place to get time of prison.
Really appreciate that.
That's the wife, right? I think that's the wife.
But he would not admit
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is.
We have you stand by in case you guys fuck it. Well, apparently I'm standing by in case someone else fucks it.
So I'm like, I'm Henderson at my head.
Yeah, yeah.
Biannual check-in. Do you know?
No, we didn't. There's no.
Okay. I imagine afternoon you're coming.
Well, I just followed you. But I'm
Nightsiders will pick up.
Yeah, yeah.
You just let me know.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine.
If you want to stay.
If you're here, we know we're in the right spot. Cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you just started saving the apple.
Tommy, del otro lado entraron los lawyers, ¿verdad? De ese lado. Los lawyers, ¿tú los viste?
Howie now wants us live in town.
Oh, they say no yet.
Fred, Howie wants me.
Hey, Mark.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you today? What are your thoughts heading into court? How are you? How are the brothers feeling right now?
I think we're in a good place. So I'm confident and I'm looking forward to a productive hearing.
Do you think you'll call them to testify?
Mr. Garagos, would you rather have your clients here in person rather than on video? So you can confer with them?
Well, for conferring purposes, yes. I think that it's always easier to do it in person.
Could they testify from prison?
What are your expectations for today?
I'm hopeful we have a good day. Stairs.
How confident are you, Mr. Oregon?
Why is that?
I live in New York.
Oh, well, then that would explain it.
This is a Juventus fan, that's right. They lose the boots. You know how you got? Do you know how they got black and white stripes? Do you know how? Well, I'm from Nottingham in England. My team's Nottingham Forest. We have a smaller team called Notts County, and they have black and white stripes. Back in Notts County is the oldest team in the league, next to Nottingham Forest, 1865. Notts County is 1863. They met somebody from Italy. They didn't have any shirts, so they lent them a shirt. That's why they're in black and white. So that's the connection between Juventus and Nottingham. And then Nottingham also met guys from London to set up a team called Arsenal. Nottingham Forest is red. Oh, you are?
Yeah.
That's good. My dad's from a place called Alpha. Yeah, it's right near
They deserve to get out of here.
Answer, right? Yep. Then I'm like, this is it. No.
Well, we don't know what the judge is going to do. The judge has a bunch of different options. If they could decide to send it to the parole board, then they could deal with it. That could go on for years. He can decide to do nothing and say no, they don't get parole, or he can say that's going to make it. They get out essentially.
Other side, the lawyer's coming, so I'm going to go back to her, but what you did was spot on. Sorry about your shoot.
so fun. Oh, they're bigger. Totally bigger.
Thank you for getting that.
There, but wait for now, but prepare, take everything, put your, you know, just, you can leave this, but just bring live you, if you need, it's just one shot. Oh, you need a jacket too?
No.
You can unplug from there? Okay.
Hey, David Hopkins walking in.
A lot of people want to know. I mean, how do you feel about it?
You know, again, what we feel is that the facts and the law will prevail one way or the other in this case.
Hey, everybody,
What
we're
do
going
you
to
have
come
to
down.
say to Mark calling
We're
you?
coming down here, everybody.
I'm going to go down.
Coming
Watch
up
your
to the
steps.
bike. Watch your steps. Watch your steps. Come on down. Hey, watch it. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm just going to go over there.
Thanks, Josh. Careful, careful.
Watch out.
About to bump into that. Thank you.
All right, we'll start now. Today we begin the resentencing hearing in the Menendez brothers case. What's important to know is that we always anticipated, as far as the district attorney's office goes, that we would be here for a resentencing hearing, because there was two ways to get here. The first way is that the court initiated its own motion for a resentencing hearing, and we have said all along that we were prepared to go forward with that court-initiated motion. The prior district attorney had initiated his own motion. We opposed that motion because we basically said that the prior district attorney had left out the majority of the key facts in making his motion, and we wanted those key facts before the court. But either way, we anticipated having a resentencing hearing starting today. Now, with respect to resentencing, what you have to appreciate is what that concept actually means. A resentencing statute doesn't exist in most states in the United States, because the idea is that if you're going to challenge your conviction and your sentence, there are plenty of different types of appeals that are available to the typical defendant to do that challenge. A defendant can appeal their sentence directly, as was done in this case. The Menendez brothers took their sentence and their conviction to the California Court of Appeals, and it denied that appeal. They then took it to the California Supreme Court, and it denied that appeal. Then you can go a second route, and you can do a habeas petition. The Menendez brothers availed themselves of that opportunity, and the California Supreme Court again denied their habeas petition. Then they went the federal court route, and they filed a habeas petition with the U.S. District Court, which denied their habeas petition on the federal grounds, and they took that up to the appellate court, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and it too denied their Court of Appeals petition. So 5 different courts evaluating the Menendez conviction and evaluating the Menendez sentence have turned those appeals down. But California has this additional statute called resentencing. And the idea was that resentencing was not designed to let every murderer who's had their convictions affirmed by 5 different courts of appeals to let them out. That the resentencing statute said that in those unusual cases where a defendant has met the criteria for resentencing, including accepting full responsibility for the range of their criminal conduct, including demonstrating rehabilitation within the prison system in which they exist, assuming that also that when they've been in prison, that they didn't commit certain violations showing that they were not ready to be released, that in those fairly rare situations that a court now has the power to actually do something that hasn't been done in this case for over 30 years, which is overturn effectively the jury's conviction and sentence that was for a first-degree murder conviction of Jose Menendez with special circumstances, a first-degree murder conviction of Kitty Menendez with special circumstances, a sentence that then was life without the possibility of parole, which has been the sentence for over 30 years. So now in this resentencing procedure, they are asking the court to go ahead and effectively overturn that sentence and turn a life without the possibility of parole sentence into a life with the possibility of parole. We have said with respect to resentencing that our position is not no, or it's not never, it's not yet. And the reason we said that is that the Menendez brothers have failed to come clean with the full extent of their criminal conduct, their cover-up, their lies, and their deceit over the past 30 years. As we've explained, the Menendez brothers persist for 30 years, as recently as 2024, in insisting that the reason that they killed their parents, and when I say their parents, I mean their mother and their father, is not because of the sexual abuse. When they testified at trial, they were asked that question specifically. Was sexual abuse the reason that you killed your mother and their father? The answer was no. They said the reason they killed their mother and their father was that they believed on the night of August 20th, 1989, their mother and their father were going to kill them, so they had to kill their mother and their father first. That has always been their defense, the self-defense defense. And we have shown through an extensive analysis of 50,000 pages of trial transcripts over 2 trials, of hundreds of hours of videotape testimony, of a review of prison files, interviews with the Menendez family members that I have personally had, a review of also prior prosecutors and law enforcement, that self-defense defense is a lie. It was a lie back in the 1990s when they presented it at trial and the jury rejected it, and it is a lie today. The Menendez brothers engaged in a deliberate, premeditated killing of their parents based on buying shotguns 2 days before the killings, going ahead and having a pre-planned alibi for the night that they were going to kill their parents, killing their parents in a methodical way to make it look like a mafia hit by shooting their father through the back of his head. Their mother, as she lay bleeding on the ground, reloading a shotgun and shooting her point-blank range through her cheek, shooting the parents afterwards through the kneecaps to make it staged like a mafia hit, and then running out to the police when after they called the 911, shouting that someone killed our parents and that the Menendez brothers were going to find that person and torture them. All a lie, as was the self-defense defense. They even added additional lies when Lyle Menendez tried to get one of his girlfriends to say that the girlfriend had been violently raped by the father. A total lie. Lyle Menendez and Erik Menendez got another of Lyle Menendez's girlfriends to say that the mother had tried to poison them. Again, another lie. And the Menendez brothers have never come fully clean with all the lies, cover-up, deceit that they have told for the past 30 years. When and if they do, and they do it sincerely and unequivocally, to the satisfaction not just of the district attorney, but ultimately the court that is going to hear this type of testimony, then the Menendezes will be ready for resentencing. Then the Menendezes will show full rehabilitation. Then the Menendezes will no longer constitute a risk of danger to society. And we started with this analysis that we presented, but most recently the analysis was corroborated by 2 comprehensive risk assessments done by board-certified psychologists for the Board of Parole that was released about a month and a half ago. And what these comprehensive risk assessments essentially said is that the Menendez brothers had been raised in risk level from low to moderate risk of violence should they be released. And what they focused on was not just the rehabilitative efforts, which the psychologists all noted and commended the Menendez brothers for their different and extensive rehabilitative efforts, but what they were concerned about that posed this risk of violence was a deceit that the Menendez brothers had engaged in while the resentencing motion was actually in play since October 2024. Lyle Menendez had engaged in deceit by violating the rules and bringing a cell phone into the prison. Just when you would think you would be on your best behavior, as a court is going to consider your resentencing motion, Lyle Menendez smuggles a cell phone into the facility. And why is that important? Well, a cell phone is not a monitored device by the prison. Every single communication that you have, if you want to speak on a phone or a tablet, there's actually a recording saying it's being monitored by the prison, but not if you bring in a burner cell phone, which is exactly what he did, and he got caught. Same thing with Erik Menendez. Another, in January of 2025, he goes ahead and violates the prison's rules and brings in a cell phone as well. He also admits to engaging in the purchasing of drugs with other inmates, in years before helping inmates engage in tax fraud. Again, what the psychologist looking at this said is that this shows that notwithstanding those rehabilitative efforts, their risk level is no longer low. It is moderate. There's a moderate risk of violence because if the Menendezes are released, they're going to head and not be in a highly structured setting like a prison. And if they can't follow the rules in prison, then the confidence level of these psychologists have dropped on whether or not they will now pose a risk of violence in society. So the court today will now consider evidence. The Menendez brothers' counsel will most likely present a series of witnesses to try and provide additional evidence to the court. The prosecution has been doing just that, providing the court with as many facts in order for the court to make this final determination on whether or not the Menendezes have been rehabilitated and constitute that risk of danger to society, that if they don't constitute it, they can then have a resentencing, and if they do constitute it, then the resentencing will result in not being effectively resentenced. Because let me leave you with this, what the three options are for the court to do in this case. The court had the obligation, once it made a finding, essentially, that it was going to go forward on its own motion and the people's motion to have the resentencing hearing itself. But that doesn't mean that the court is obligated at the end of it to actually resentence the Menendez brothers. The court is not allowed to increase the sentence for the Menendez brothers, but it is under no obligation to actually change the sentence for the Menendez brothers. So that is one option. That after hearing all the evidence, the court decides not to change the sentence. The second option is that the court does resentence the Menendez brothers to a sentence of life with the possibility of parole. At that point, the Menendez brothers will then go to the parole board. If the parole board were to grant parole, or even if they were to deny parole, it would end up with Governor Newsom, and he makes the final determination, he and he alone, on whether or not the Menendez brothers will ever get out on parole. But there is a third option for the court to engage in today. Because when people talk about the sentence, the Menendez brothers sentence, there's actually two sentences at play. One sentence was the sentence for the killing of Jose Menendez. As a first-degree murder violation with special circumstances, the sentence for the killing of Jose Menendez was life without the possibility of parole. But the second count was dealing with Kitty Menendez, a separate sentence. And that sentence also was life without the possibility of parole for the sentence of Kitty Menendez. So there is a possibility where a court could resentence the Menendez brothers based on the Jose Menendez killing and murder, but choose and then change that sentence from life without the possibility of parole to life with the possibility of parole. But separately, when considering the sentence dealing with Kitty Menendez, for factors that the court can consider unique to the sentence of Kitty Menendez, the court can decide not to change that sentence. So even though there will effectively have been a resentencing for Jose Menendez, there will not be one for Kitty Menendez, and the Menendez sentence overall will be life without the possibility of parole were that circumstance to happen. So again, we're going to have this resentencing hearing over the next several days, 2 days. I don't know if the judge will rule at the very end of it. He can decide to rule on in open court at the end of the hearing. He can decide to take it under submission. He might want to write an opinion about what his thoughts are. He might want to hold another court hearing and announce them from the bench. We don't know one way or the other. That will be up to the court. So that is the overview of what was going to happen today and tomorrow. I'm happy to take any questions.
Mr. Harper, you sound like you are almost recommending that they split, that the judge splits these cases. You sound like you're leaning towards that as an option. Is that true?
It is an option. What I wanted to do today is flag all the options that the court has.
Is there one that you prefer?
Well, again, what we have said is that the Menendez brothers are not ready for resentencing in this hearing. That because they have not engaged in the full panoply of admissions of their criminal conduct, that they're not ready for resentencing on either one of the convictions.
You would be comfortable with a resentencing on the Jose Menendez charge, but not on the Kitty?
No, just the opposite. No, the option that we have addressed in our papers and will be addressing in court is actually the first option. The first option being no resentencing at all. That you can have the resentencing hearing, but the Menendez brothers have not shown the true and complete insight into their actions. The comprehensive risk assessments establish them at a moderate level. And if and when they get back to the low level of risk, if and when they admit to the full range of their criminal conduct, at that point, we're saying, they might be in the position for a full resentencing, but we don't believe that is today.
You talk about the risk assessment. What is your greatest concern if they were released? They could possibly murder again?
The risk is a risk assessment for violence, whether it's murder or other types of violence. It is the concern that the Board of Parole's board-certified psychologists have in raising that risk assessment level from low to moderate. They're basically saying that while the Menendez brothers have been in prison, it's a highly structured environment. And if they're willing to break the rules in this highly structured environment, the confidence level that they're willing to comply with the rules, including rules that say effectively you can't engage in violent acts or other types of acts. These are the laws in our society. They have lost some level of confidence in, and they've made it known, again, to the Board of Parole, to the governor, and in this case, to the court itself.
District Attorney, are you concerned that their level of rule breaking would rise to someone getting hurt or killed?
It's not my concern. It's the expert psychologists' concern in prison that have risen their risk level up to that moderate level. We've also added to it a whole range of lies that they have told for the last 30 years and have never come clean with, to again show that they have not fully accepted responsibility for all their criminal conduct, and in our minds not fully then rehabilitated and do constitute the risk for violence as well.
Can you talk about the conditions they're going to be in when they come out, though? Like, I'm just kind of curious if a lot of people, when they struggle and reoffend when they come out of prison, right, they come home with no resources, no money. They're going to come home to a family that supports them, a lot of money, presumably immediate job opportunities. Does any of that, in your mind, counterbalance the lying? Like, how do you play that, I guess, the other side of that equation? They're going to come home in a pretty beneficial situation, right?
So we look at the Menendez case not in isolation. There are literally dozens of criminal defendants every single month that make their pitch to my DA's office or DA's offices across the state and say, we want resentencing. And we have to be fair and treat these cases in a uniform way. So we're not going to give any special treatment just because the Menendezes, when they get out, might have additional resources that any other defendant might not have. The risk level is assessed both by the board-certified psychologists in connection with the review of the entire factual record to determine whether or not today, and I'm not talking in the future, but today, they justify resentencing, and we have said they don't today. Any other questions? Yes.
So the brothers are not expected to testify. We've been told it is possible that statements that they have written could be introduced on their behalf. If those statements do take accountability and sort of answer your questions, would that then force you to change direction when it comes to resentencing?
You know, what we have said is that the Menendez brothers unequivocally and sincerely accept full responsibility for all their actions and cover-ups, that we would reconsider our position. I'm not going to reconsider it in a vacuum. I'd certainly want to see exactly what they're saying, and as importantly, they have to convince the judge. Because while convincing the district attorney's office is certainly at some level important, the real important task is for them to convince the judge that they have unequivocally and sincerely come clean with all their criminal conduct. I don't know if a written statement by itself, it depends what it says, will go that far, but it's certainly something that we should consider, as should the court. Any one last question?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
What happened to the member of the Menudo that claimed the father molested him? What happened to that?
I don't know that particular situation as to what happened with that individual. Again, when it deals with sexual abuse, what we have said is that our focus is actually on the self-defense defense, because that wasn't us saying that. That was actually the Menendez brothers themselves testifying to it at trial. Again, when asked that question, did you kill your parents? Did you murder your parents that night because of sexual abuse? The answer was no. They said the reason they did it was they thought their parents, their mother and their father, were going to kill them that night. So they had to kill them first. All right, thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
proceedings at all inside the courtroom in the next 2 days?
Not today. We'll see about tomorrow. You betcha. So,
You spoke about that soul on Crenshaw about Tory Lanez. Did you ever look at that case?
I don't remember actually.
All right. His name is Tory Lanez against Megan Thee Stallion. Thanks.
Okay.
You're gonna go backwards there.
Exactly right.
I clearly remember.
Okay, I will. Sorry.
Thank you.